Hey guys, so today is going to be a very random current favorites video. I feel like I say that in every single one of my favorites, but I'm telling you, out of all of them, this is the most random. There's no makeup. It's just gonna be a bunch of, I don't even know what to call it, just a bunch of random stuff. I wanted to do this video ever since like September when we got back from our Greece trip, but then most of my favorites always starts with one favorite thing that I fell in love with, but I don't have anything else, and I'm not gonna make a favorites video based on one item, you know? So like I have to wait for a few months to start racking up all my other favorites. I've been waiting to do this since September for like the most random stuff. Okay, starting out strong with one of the most random. My first favorite is Pickle Juice. I will play you the TikTok while I go grab it.
And I was like dying of cramps this morning. My husband goes, "Why don't you just drink some dill pickle juice?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Drink some dill pickle juice, it'll get rid of your cramps." Bro, tell me why. I literally drink probably, I don't know, a couple tablespoons of this dill pickle juice. Within 5 minutes, my cramps are gone.
I feel like I could do a separate video of all the things I learned from TikTok. So when I saw that TikTok, I totally trusted it because there were so many people in the comments who were like, yeah, it's not just for menstrual cramps, it's for any type of cramps, you know, doctors chiming in. But when I had cramps a few days after I watched that TikTok, I was like, okay, now's my chance to try pickle juice. Just started my cramps. I drank some. I didn't drink a lot. I want to say I drank like a tablespoon. 10 minutes in, my cramps were gone. I was like, okay, maybe this is placebo. Like mentally, I'm like, oh, this is gonna work. But I was still really shocked that they were gone. And I was like, okay, maybe next month we can see again. The next month I had cramps. I drank it. It worked. The only thing is that it doesn't last for a long time like Midol does. I want to say maybe like an hour to 2 hours it stops my cramps, but then they come back. So what I do is, since this is instant and my Midol takes like an hour to kick in, I will drink this first and then my Midol will kick in an hour later when this fades, if that makes sense. That is first on my list, pickle juice. Ladies, if you have bad menstrual cramps, go ahead and try this. There's nothing to lose. It works, at least for me and a bunch of other people. Second favorite thing, and this is the reason why I wanted to do a favorites video in September, because I loved this hat so much. I hate hats. Any kind of hat, I will break out on my forehead and I just don't like the feel of them. But in Greece, I was stupid because on day one, I was embarrassed to wear a hat. This looked so, like, it felt so bougie or like older lady vibes, so I didn't wear it. Literally the first day, I got a bad tan. The Greece sun is horrible. Oh my gosh, that really killed me. And so I was like, okay, I can't risk that again because we were there for like 2 weeks and on the first day I already got like a bad tan. So I wore this. I don't remember breaking out at all, and I was sweating every single day. Like I didn't even wash this. And compared to a regular hat, it covered my whole face, because with a regular hat it just covers here and my cheeks would still burn and I would get all my freckles, which I hate. So this girl saved me. There are a bunch of hats just like this on Amazon. I got this on Amazon, but I'm so glad I brought it. I know we're in winter, but if you're going somewhere really hot and need protection, I feel like everyone already has hats, and I'm probably like one of the rare people who doesn't like wearing hats, but I love this so much that I wanted to make a favorites video. Okay, next one is my Briotech Topical Skin Spray. I talked about this in my TikTok Made Me Buy It video. Honestly, you could just go watch that video and almost all of them were my favorites. I have a few from that TikTok video. I could have technically put the pickle juice in that TikTok video because TikTok made me buy pickle juice. But I always get styes. They last for at least a good week. When I tried this on, it healed in 3 days. So this was the second on my list in my favorites in like September, October, whenever I bought this. Very random. If you get styes like me, try it out. I don't know if this is makeup, okay? I don't know if you would consider lip balm makeup. But I talked about, I don't know where my original one is, the yellow one. I talked about it in my Greece video. And I kind of noted that I was loving it more than my Tower 28 that I rave about, and I'm gonna have to admit I love this more than my Tower 28. I brought both my Tower 28 lip balm and this with me in Greece. I kind of interchanged them a lot. At first I was like, no, I still like Tower 28. It's just weird because with both of them, sometimes it helps my crust, sometimes it doesn't. But with this, I love that it's a thick layer. It's like a warm hug on your lips. It stays there for a long time. I don't want to say it feels like Vaseline, but like it feels just like a thick layer taking care of your lips. The Tower 28 is really liquidy. It evaporates so fast. But then the reason I like that is because I can tell it's like peeling off my chappedness. When I used this for the first time, it felt like all my other lip products where I felt like it was just covering my lips and not doing anything to help my chapped lips. But then magically one day, this also started helping my crust. So yeah, I guess it depends like on my skin day, but overall, I do love this more than the Tower 28. This is actually also a TikTok made me buy it. Dang it, I should have looked at all these too because of the Olympic gymnast girl. I saw it on her TikTok. She was using this and I instantly bought it. I do not think this is not in makeup, okay? I don't know if you would say lip balm is makeup, but if my husband was putting on lip balm, I don't think I would ever say, hey, I like your makeup. So lip balm isn't makeup, okay? Just a little side, like maybe second place. I did get this on my birthday. It's the Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. At first, I wasn't feeling it. I can't tell what it does with the plumping, but I do wake up with really nice, fresh lips. They're all moisturized, the chappedness is gone. But the reason I don't know if I can fully love it yet is because I don't know how it compares to Laneige. But Laneige isn't cruelty free, so I'm never gonna try it. It's more like I wanna try more lip masks so I can fully grasp how well this is working. This could be horrible compared to the others, or this could be really good. But right now, I've been loving this. I don't know if I would put it in the favorites yet. It's just, these are just my current lip treatments that I love. Okay, next we have a vegan egg. When we were in Vancouver in Christmas, we went to a vegan restaurant and they had like a sunny side egg and I was like mind blown. I was like, how? It was so good. I'm so lucky because we have a vegan market near us. They were selling a sunny side egg. I'll put up what it looks like. I mean, doesn't that look realistic? And I don't know what's in this black salt that they give in the box, but I feel like this alone just tastes like egg. I've just been putting this salt like on everything, but I feel like that's just made my breakfast a little better compared to just boring avocado toast. I can put the egg on top of the avocado toast. That's just been a favorite lately. I just keep grabbing it and buying it. Said at the beginning of the video, this is gonna be very random. Okay, next one, I wrote down DJI. So I've always used my DJI Osmo Pocket. This is the original one for when I travel. Like I never had any problems with it. And then I noticed there was a 3. I don't know what made me want to look for an upgrade, but I just did. And at first I was like, oh, that's so big. Look how much bigger it is than this. So I was so scared. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna love that because I love how small this is. My main problem with this is that it cannot zoom. When I'm editing, I do still have to stabilize the videos and it just doesn't look that good at night. That's why I usually bring this and another camera with me when I travel. But this does it all. Like I don't need to plug it to my phone. It works perfect at night. I don't have to use a stabilizer when I'm editing. It can zoom. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly talk about this. If you vlog or you just need a camera that's not so like in your face, and with that, like I feel like I've missed so many shots that I wanted to get. It takes so long to turn on with this. Like you just have to twist it and then bam, I start recording. Like, and then it turns off when I do that. This made me so happy. When you like upgrade your laptop or your camera, your phone, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I was missing. I didn't think I was missing anything with my OG camera. But then once I got this, I was like, I'm missing a lot. Okay, next, which was also on my TikTok made me buy it video, was this ice head wrap. So I did say I loved it in the video. I only used it once when I made that video. And I said I wanted to try again when I have a really bad headache or a migraine. And I did. Oh my gosh. I had a bad migraine. I put it on, you know, since I couldn't look at my phone, it made my eyes rest. And I took a nap, which is very, very rare for me. Like I don't take naps. I want to say, let's say I have a level 10 headache. It brought it down to like a 4 or 5. That's how good it was. My husband, when he had a headache, I was like, oh babe, use this. And he's like, like it's not gonna work. He put it on and then like he did a little cutesy smile. He was like, and I was like, I told you. And he kept it on the whole time until the coolness faded. And then he started using it in bed too. I feel like this really soothes your eyes because it's cold. But I was just like, I told you so. I was like, should we get another one? Because this was only $5 just to have a backup. So I might get another one, but something so simple. I got this on TikTok for $5, but like on Amazon and everywhere else, it's in the 20s. So if you have TikTok, like maybe get it there. It feels so good, even if you don't have a headache. For the first bit, like if you take it right out of the freezer, you're probably gonna get brain freeze, but once that dies down, it feels so good. Okay, we are nearing the end. I had 10. I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, I only have 10 current favorites, but this next part might be long. And before I start, if you don't like hearing about books, we're practically done with this favorites video. You can exit out if you want, because let me tell you, I love watching favorites videos. and at least both in skincare YouTubes and makeup YouTubes, they bring up this book. It started getting kind of annoying. I was like, okay, it has to be like some really girly book because all the girls are into it. It sounds like some kind of like teenage, you know, something like a teenage girl would like. I had no idea what it was about, okay? When I watch any favorites and when they start talking about books or perfume, I zone out. I feel like those are two very specific to someone. Someone could love the smell of a perfume and then another person could hate that smell. So that's kind of how I felt about books. You could love that book and I could hate it. So again, I always zoned out when people talked about books. When we were in Vancouver, we went into a bookstore. I don't know how I walk into bookstores in Toronto and Vancouver, yet like I don't really see that much bookstores. I think we have like 3 Barnes and Nobles. It's not easy to just walk in. You have to drive to them. And I think both the ones I went to in Canada were in the mall. Why don't we have bookstores in malls? At least in San Diego, I feel like we don't have any bookstores in a mall. Anyways, we walked in. It was such a pretty huge bookstore, Indigo. I was like, you know what? I want to grab a book, but I don't know what I want to read. There were so many options. I told my husband, choose a book you want, I'll choose a book I want, and then we'll buy them for each other. I hit ACOTAR, which all the girls are talking about, okay? I was like, okay, I would never buy this for myself. If someone else bought it for me, I would read it. And this was my time. So I told my husband, okay, this is what I want. I literally thought it was one book because when the girls were talking about it in their favorites, they only held up and only talked about ACOTAR. They never said, oh, I love this series. They were like, I love this book. So I only thought it was one book. I finished the book while we were in Vancouver. Every night I would basically do a summary and tell my husband what the book was about. Okay, hold on. There's like so many little things I have to get through. Okay, let's talk about this before I get to my husband. I finished the first book. I'm expecting maybe a 9 out of 10. Because again, this is on practically every girl's favorite. And I was like, okay, this has to be overhyped. I will say though, I feel like it was a tiny bit overhyped, the first one, because I'm expecting a 9. When I finished it, I want to give it like a 7. Even my best friend was like, oh, how'd you like it? And I was like, it was cute. You know, that's all I could say. If you wanted to, you could technically just read the first one and be done. And maybe that's why a lot of the girls I was watching just talked about the first one. Because like I said, they never brought up the whole series. They were specifically talking about ACOTAR. I feel like I didn't hear the word series. But it was good enough where I'm like, okay, I need to read the second one. Which of course is the one everyone loves. Which is the one I love. My husband likes the third one the most. Just the first one alone was kind of giving a little overhyped. But then once you read the series, like overall, you're like, okay, I can see the hype. I knew that this year I did not want to be mentally exhausted. That's not going well so far, but I needed my focus to be on something that wasn't so stressful. So I was like, okay, I need to get into books. And the books have been helping. I even bought a Kobo. I thought this was going to be my favorites, but I don't know how I feel about it yet because I didn't even read a book on it. It's basically like a Kindle. I watch reviews and apparently this one's better than the Kindle. So I was done with the second book. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. I didn't talk about my husband yet. So when I was reading the first book in Vancouver, I was just giving him a rundown. Once we hit Farah going to Under the Mountain and doing those 3 tasks, I was like, okay, babe, I need to read you this. I cannot summarize this. It's better if I read it to you. So I feel like that hooked him because once I got the second one, he was like, okay, can you continue reading it? And then I got my wisdom tooth taken out like a week and a half ago and I was like, okay, babe, you have to read this. I can't talk. You can read it alone if you want. Like, I was so tired. We were already close to finishing the book. So in the morning when I woke up, he finished the book. He came in the room and he's like, so when are you getting the third one? And I was like, okay, just calm down. I'm waiting for my Kobo to come in the mail and then I can download it. So that's what I did. I got this in the mail. I downloaded the third book. I told my husband, hey, log in to my account and you can read it. I started reading it like 3 pages in. I did not even finish the first chapter. I was like, I can't. I need the physical book. I said that in Vancouver, like, I need holding the physical book. Like, I love physical books. I would rather read it. Like, it's just so much more satisfying than like on a Kindle. But I would go through books like that and I would spend so much money. So I ended up buying the rest of them. Then I ended up buying the Throne of Glass collection. It's already up in my bookcase. So yeah, I was like, at least for this series, and with how cute the cover is and just, I don't know what it is, but having a physical book captures my attention more than scrolling. But I like to tell myself that once I'm done with this. I will stick to my Kobo. I will say though, I'll probably stick to my Kobo when I'm not reading fantasy, because before ACOTAR, the books I loved reading were more thriller, more real life, not fairies. If you told me like, oh, you're gonna like this book about fairies, I'm like, oh hell no. I've never been into, do we have fairy shows? Like even dragon stuff, I've never been into Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, so like I know I'm not gonna like the books about dragons. So I was like, am I gonna like a book about fairies? And I do. I thought I just loved books that were here in the real world, but no, that has captured my attention. I'm glad, even though someone says like that's too overhyped and that sucks compared to other books, I don't care, because it brought me back into reading. I needed that, especially for my mental health for this year. Who knows how long I can hold on mentally. Like so much, I'm like, I need to get away from my phone. So the books really helped me with that. So again, it doesn't have to be ACOTAR. It's just, I'm glad I'm back into reading. So I'm so grateful for those books. I wanted to put the Kobo in my favorites, but I haven't even read one book on it. I'm like, should I even keep it? Because I seem to be wanting the physical books. I think I've spoken enough about ACOTAR. I can keep going. I haven't even spoken about actual books. I've spoken more about buying it and all the little stories around it. When am I at? Number 8? Number 9? Like I said, I had 10. The other is the bookcase and record player I got. We had this huge triangle bookcase and that just took up a big space. I knew if I got something taller and slimmer, it would be really good for the books. So that's what I did. And I was like, okay, but I need a place for the record player and all the records we have. So I got that one. And the record player is perfect because it's making me play records now. When I wake up, I can just walk out, put in a record and listen. And at night, I can grab a book from the bookshelf and start reading. I'm adding those two to my current favorites. So we always had our record player here and you can see that it's hidden. I'm not even joking. I want to say maybe 3 times a year we use it. So when I got this, oh my gosh, non-stop. I just wake up in the morning and then I come, press it, turn it on, bam, easy. I'm waiting for my husband to come home so that he can play around with what he wants to do over here. But I'm so in love with that. And the new bookcase I got too. Again, I'm waiting for more books. I hope it doesn't happen so fast because I know this is gonna fill up. But yeah, just having the bookcase there and the record player there, I just feel like makes our space even more cozy now. And at that, I think we are done. Okay. Hold on. Maybe I'll throw in a makeup product, okay? Because literally just yesterday, I made a video trying out the ABH foundation for the first time. Let's just call this a bonus favorite, okay? And I loved it, my first impressions. I put it on again today. I still love it. So if I do a favorites coming up or next month, this would definitely be in it. But right now I feel like I can't put this just yet in my current favorites because I've only used this twice now. But I have a feeling like if I did a monthly favorites next month, this would be in it. But I love it. It's worked just as well as it did yesterday. I used a different primer because I said in my unboxing video that it was a first impressions. I haven't watched anyone's review on it, but then I did after I made the video. Someone was saying she felt like it was thick or she could feel it on her face. I do not. After I filmed, I sat down on the floor, I started editing and I was like, oh crap, I forgot there's foundation on my face. I do not feel it. It's not heavy at all. It's not thick. I can see the blurring. My pores aren't as enlarged as they are compared to other foundations. It's not getting here in the cracks and it just blends out beautifully. So extra bonus favorite. I can't push this just yet because I've only used it twice, but those are my current favorites. I am sorry because I know they are very random, but hopefully one of them intrigues you to try it out, whatever it may be. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.